Hello everyone, my name is Mohammed and I'm a software engineer with more than 5 years of experience as a software engineer. And before that, I have completed my master's from University of Manitoba in computer science. And the main reason why I joined this program is I want to transition my career more towards data analytics. So that being said, let's dive deep into the Capstone project that I chose. So before mentioning anything about it, one thing I would like to ask. Uh, so, who do you think is the biggest buyer or biggest clients for goods and services in Canada? So no surprises. Canadian government is the biggest client, or you can call it a biggest buyer of goods and services. And the way this Canadian government basically uh, choose the sellers is by bidding or by putting a online bidding. So this is what we are doing in this Capstone project, that we are trying to analyze those contracts, distribution and trends, and see if we can get something meaningful out of it. So coming to my next slide, let's just understand a table of contents, or like a quick glance. So we are going to discuss about technology. We are also going to discuss about a data set that I worked on. We are going to look at the supplier demographics and the contract characteristics, procurement criteria and trends. So these are the things that we are going to look into it. So for technologies, these are the things that we have learned in this course from past month, I would say. So everything is built on Python, and I do have used these libraries, namely pandas and numpy, for data analysis, and for bouquet to create a server. And to coming to the dataset characteristics, this dataset that I have chosen is basically of all the contracts that have been awarded from January 2023 to May 2025, and there were like total, like you can see, like it's more than 20,000 contracts that has been awarded all across Canada. And in the dataset, all these contracts are basically divided into these four categories, that is construction, goods, services, and services related to goods. So now let's look at the supply landscape. And so this does show a kind of picture that we can interpret either way. The first thing I like to mention over here is that there are like 447 unique suppliers during this 2 years of period. And if you see over here, the basically top 10 suppliers, they were like controlling like 76% of the market. And to understand the supply concentration, we have like also calculated HHI index. And this HHI index is basically a index that range from 0 to 10,000, and it shows the market concentration. So the HHI index that we got here, 1275, it's represent a moderately concentrated market. But at the same time, if you see over here, this also present an opportunity to engage strategically with all these major suppliers. Next, if you see over here, what's the idea about getting a contract? So the main idea, the headline here is basically competitive bidding would drive a significant savings. And in this during data analysis, we do find that competitive savings, it does saves 71.5% because of competitive process. Now procurement method distribution, or you can call it contract distribution. So out of 565 instances, basically from all the instances, 565 instances were there when a bid won because of it was a competitive bidding. And for 454 instances, it did show that it was non-competitive. Non-competitive could be from few reasons. One, it could be there could be only one supplier that was bidding for that project. Another reason, the government already had an agreement and it's just to continue to the same agreement. So you see, there are markets for like competitive as well as non-competitive suppliers. Next, let's look at the geographic concentration. So no surprise here, like if you live in Canada, the Eastern Canada is where the most of the economic activity happens. So we do have like in Eastern Canada itself, we have like more than 60 or 70% of the total contacts. But if you see over here, we do have some like basically British Columbia was the second highest project concentration. And if you're seeing over here, like there are like some US states as well. So this is something like I came to know like during while I was like working on this project, that US bidders, they're also allowed to participate in the Canadian government bidding. So you see, there are like firms or suppliers from the US, they're also getting some share into the Canadian government projects. But overall, it's the Eastern Canada that dominates the supplier market. Next, let's see. So if you see over here, like the contract value and the duration analysis. So if you see, we have more than basically the mean value over here is 82.24 million. That's the average cost of a project. It's some high skill because like some construction project were like of too high cost. And if you see over here, although like interestingly, like if you see in the pie chart, that construction project has the like least number of project, but at the same time they have the like highest like largest category by value. So they have like more than like 300 million plus or 200 million plus awarded in this last 2 years. Most contract categories in which like they got like the most contract, that was the goods category. So in terms of value, it does not come close to construction, but it does have like more number of contract. And in terms of duration analysis, average duration of a project was 4.8 years, and the longest duration that was in the data, but it might be an anomaly or it might be a perpetual agreement that I mentioned in the previous slide as well. Next, what's the selection criteria? So suppose you're a supplier and you want to provide a bid. So what do you think, what would be the best criteria for which they're gonna like select your bid? So if you see over here in this graph, looks like the idea here is that the price dominates. So if you are bidding the lowest price, definitely you have the like best chance to get the project. But lowest price is not the only criteria, although it has like almost 30% share of all the different ways you can bid on the project. But they also look at the combined rating, like if you based on like their criteria, based on government criteria, how good is your rating. They also look at the government objective representation. It may be they are like looking for green energy, they may be looking for environment friendly. So those are the criteria that they would look for. There could be chance of follow-on contract, depends on the ongoing work. So on and so forth. We did saw a bit of decline and total contract value or count. So this is something that also came across during the research. And just to conclude it, what could be the supplier strategy? So the supplier should understand that the market is moderately concentrated. So one of the way you can basically become the part of it, that you can foster a relationship with top suppliers for actively at the same time while actively developing a diverse secondary supplier base to mitigate risk. Geographical strategy: be aware of your regional concentration of supply. Eastern Canada, explore opportunities to diversify geographically to strengthen supply chain resilience. And value versus price. So yeah, there is a definitely value matters, but here we saw like lowest price also dominates the bidding process. So that's the idea over here. Like I would be updating everything on GitHub, and everything would be available for you to check over GitHub as well. So thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to be part of this course and giving me the opportunity to present my work. Thank you so much. Have a good one, everyone.